Why don't we start though with the singer David? We got a couple Davids to talk about this morning, but you have been keeping us updated on the case of a young girl named Celeste Rivas. Okay, 14 years old. Her body was discovered in the trunk of a Tesla that was in long-term parking at a rental facility. You've been keeping us updated. If you can start by talking us through kind of the nuts and bolts of the case and then get us updated on what you guys are reporting this week.
Absolutely. It is really one of the more strange cases that I can remember ever having heard of, no less covered. But this girl, like you said, Anthony, I mean, she was 14 years old when she disappeared in 2024. Her family reported her missing. She lived in the Southern California area, and one day she just essentially disappeared. And they had not really seen her then in the months after that. Well, she had been clearly been hanging out with, and the exact nature of the relationship is unclear, but she had been hanging out with this guy named David, who is an up-and-coming musician who is really popular and getting, again, more and more popular by the day. He is a little bit older. He is now 20 years old. So she was 15. He's 20. So it's about a 5-year age difference. Her body is found in early September in a Tesla that is registered to David. Now, the car was originally parked on the street of a Hollywood Hills home, and it was parked illegally for so long that eventually the parking authority came by and they towed it to a tow yard. Well, somebody, after the car had been at the tow yard for a couple of days, they say something doesn't smell right around this car. And sure enough, police are called, and I won't be graphic, but they find Celeste Rivas in the car, and it was clear that she had been there for a while, put it like that. So then the investigation begins. You know, first of all, who is this person? Because at first it wasn't even clear. Forget it, it was Celeste Rivas. It was not even clear whether it was a male or a female. So they do a lot of testing. They were ultimately able to determine that it is this girl, Celeste Rivas. And then you say, okay, what happened? How did she wind up in, deceased in a trunk? And there has been a lot of investigating. There have been forget arrest. There have been no arrests, but nobody has even been named a suspect at this point. A lot of people, though, want to hear David's explanation here. You know, again, why is there a dead person in your car? So there have been search warrants executed at the place he was staying at in Hollywood, where the car was. And police are investigating. We have been told that David is cooperating with the authorities. Now, the newest bit of information here is that this house that he was staying at in Hollywood, where the car was ultimately parked outside of, it wasn't David's home. He was renting it. It's a $4.1 million home that's owned by somebody else. The person who owns that house said, hey, look, I want to know what happened at my property. So they hired a private investigator. The private investigator says that he searched the home and that he found, and look, does this mean anything? Does it not? That's the question. But he claims, basically heavy machinery and farm equipment, that you could use to potentially get rid of a body. So he says these things were found. Now, again, like I said, police did execute a search warrant. So the timetable is a little unclear. Is he alluding to finding something that police missed, or was it before police did their search warrant? So a lot of questions still, but bottom line is he said that there was all this heavy machinery in that house. He says you would not need that machinery living where they were living in Hollywood. He said
it's an urban area.
You find on a farm.
And
right,
now,
exactly.
Let me ask you this. Was it unwrapped, unboxed? Anything known about the farm equipment?
Unclear. Yeah, he has not said. The guy's name is Steve Fisher, and I at least from what I have read about his report, he has not said whether, what the condition was. Was there anything on it? Did it look like it had been used? I think those are all really relevant questions. I just don't believe we have the answers to them yet. But they also, look, maybe somebody was doing some work on somebody's home in the by a farm or by the countryside. I mean, who knows? I think there could be a bunch of reasons that don't have to do with an alleged murder, but it's worth looking at. I think if you're the police, why not?
Right. Yeah, and is there DNA on those things? I mean, that would be the first thing to check. So where is David now? What's the story with him? What's going on?
Walking free. Just, he is not in custody, nothing like that. Now, that's not to say that his career hasn't been affected by this, and maybe he's done nothing wrong. And again, not accused, not even named a suspect by police, but
wow.
He has had some new music that has been put on hold. His record label has sort of, kept him at arm's length, for lack of a better terms, in between beginning of September and now, as police obviously still continue to investigate. So, yeah, he is just walking free. No charges, nothing like that. Although that could obviously change at any moment.
Wow. Okay.